Hello and welcome to another quick edit video. This time with an image I've been looking for the whole time I was in Iceland. Sadly, I do have to shame Sony once more, since this is a JPEG image instead of a RAW image because my Sony camera decided to switch formats. So what I have to do here is to combine multiple images to get some more details back from it and fix a few things. Let's see how this goes. My goal for this shot is to give it some more warmer color tones and of course restore the shadows. So let's first start with the white balance. Here I want to slightly boost the tint. Then let's also bring down the temperature just a bit. That should be enough, I think. Now let's do work on the tone. First off, since everything is super dark, I'm going to just boost the exposure here. Of course, I don't want to overdo it since I don't want to overexpose the highlights. Also, let's bring down the highlights just a bit. Okay, that looks good. Of course, there will always be some overexposure right there where the sun is, and that is okay. That's not even fixable with the RAW file. So let's worry about that later. Then, of course, I can also bring up the shadows. Let's see, this should look good. Now, this made another problem pretty visible. You can see quite a few of those strange looking dots throughout the image. And here I have to admit that was my problem since I didn't keep my filters clean. So what I'm doing here is to take another image and just mask out this area in the center later. So for now, don't worry about the center part right there. This will look ugly for a bit. I further want to boost the blacks, just to get more details back from the dark areas. And that looks really good. Now we do get a very soft look, which I quite like. I could even drop the contrast maybe, but well, it's getting a little too soft, so let's not do that. Instead, I want to increase the texture, give it a little more sharpness. And let's also boost the vibrance so we get some nice colors in here. Perfect. Let's do some local adjustments. Let's start with the gradiated filters. You can see there's one for the sky. With this one, I do want to apply a softer look, just for the sky, of course, and therefore I'm dropping the clarity just a bit. Also, I think I can bring down the exposure just like that, not too much. All right, nice. And then let's work on the foreground. I want to make those cool looking rocks a little more visible. So we can do that by increasing the exposure. And I also want to add some contrast here, as well as texture and some more clarity. You can see the clarity really helps with those rocks. Nice. There's also one radial filter just for the area around the sun. Again, I'm just using some more temperature to make this area warmer. And I'm also adding some blacks to add some kind of glow effect here and some negative dehaze. Alright, now that's it for the local adjustments. Then next, let's do a little bit of color grading. I'm skipping the HSL panel because I don't need to change a specific color tone. Instead, let's go straight to the split toning. Of course, for the highlights, I want to have a warm color tone to fit the sunset. Let's see, that might be a little too warm here. This looks good though. And let's bring down the saturation. That looks perfect. Then for the midtones, again, I want to go with a warm color tone. That looks perfect. Then for the midtones, again, I want to go with a warm color tone. Somewhere in this range. And let's see how much I can boost the saturation. Of course, I don't want to overdo it. That's too much, but I think this looks pretty cool. And then for the shadows, let's see if I can apply a cold color tone here. And I'm only really using the tiniest amount of saturation here. Just like that. Alright, that looks awesome. I think I want to check the calibration tab all the way down and just drop the blue primary hue. This will kind of get rid of this slight purple color cast. So I'm not sure. Just like that maybe. Alright, let's leave it at that point. That looks good. And then we can sharpen this image, of course. Alright, now here we have the basic Lightroom adjustments for this shot. As I said earlier, I want to use a different image to fix the center part. And of course we do need to have the same settings there. So in the thumbnail menu down there, I'm heading over to the second image I'm using. And I just click on previous to apply the previous settings. Since I didn't use an ND filter here, the colors are a little different. And I just need to fix that. In this case, I can do that by simply adjusting the white balance. So I'm going to lower the temperature a bit, and I'm also removing some tint to get back natural color tones here. I actually might also want to drop the vibrance, so the rocks in the center do have a more natural look like that. And once that is done, I'm going to select both of the images down there in the thumbnail menu, right click, edit in Photoshop. So here we have both images open in Photoshop. Now I'm going to copy this one over by selecting all and hitting Ctrl C, and just paste it right here. You can also clearly see those images aren't aligned perfectly. Again, not a big deal. I'm going to select both of them, go to Edit and Auto Align Layers and just hit OK. And Photoshop is pretty good at this. You can see they are perfectly aligned here. So we do, however, need to crop the image just like that. I want to keep the lighthouse centered, of course. Alright, then next I'm going to apply a layer mask on this second image right here. And I want to apply a black layer mask, so I'm holding down the Alt key while I'm clicking on the layer mask icon. And then with the layer mask selected, I'm going to use a white brush. And now I'm just painting over the things I want to have from the second image, just like that. And here with the black brush, I'm fixing those things like the waves. Alright, that looks awesome. Much better and cleaner. So now with that out of the way, I'm going to merge those two images. And let's fix the vignetting in the corners real quick by using the clone stem tool. Just like that. Alright. Then next, of course, there also are a few sensor spots. So I'm going to fix that using the spot healing brush. Then let's see, I think I want to apply some more motion blur to the water. Therefore I'm duplicating that layer by hitting Ctrl J. Then I'm going to filter, blur, motion blur. You can see I'm just using a horizontal blur right here. Of course I don't want to use too much here, but I think that's a good spot like that. Again, I'm creating a black layer mask here. And then use a white brush to paint in the motion blur. And just make the ocean a little smoother right there. Alright, nice. Again, let's merge those two layers. And now it's time to enhance this glow effect near the lighthouse. So let's add a new layer, switch the blending mode to hard light. Again, grab the brush and lower its opacity. And I want to pick a warmer color from this spot. Maybe make it a little more orangish. And then I'm painting in some more glow here. Alright, that's enough. Again, let's merge those layers. And then I think I want to dodge this image as well. So I'm going to add another new layer, but this time go with the overlay blending mode. And using the TK panel, I can create specific selections. For example, here I'm going to select some of the lights. Let's go with this layer and apply the layer mask. Then again, I'm using a white brush to dodge things. And I'm increasing the brush opacity as well. That was a bit much maybe. Alright, nice. Again, let's merge everything and now let's check the Nik Collection plugin. First off, let me use the skylight filter since this will add some more sunset colors. And for this shot it works really nicely. I don't want to overdo it, so I guess something like this looks really good. Let's add another filter. In this case, maybe the Brilliance Warmth filter to add a little more warmth. So let's apply it like that. Perfect, and here we have the finished image. So I hope this was helpful and interesting. If you have any questions about the editing, feel free to ask me in the comments, and thank you very much for watching this video.